Hello everyone, this is Brian with Zimco Survival and I'm back. Now I do apologize about how long it's taken me to get some videos out. We had something happen and rather than tell you, I'm just going to show you. But first, I have this video is going to be about bug out bag or hiking medical kits, how to make one, and why I don't think pre-made medical kits are all that great. So we'll get into that here in just a second, but I'm going to show you why it's been so long between my videos. Meet Ashley, the newest member of our family. She is 2 months old today. And this is why it's taken me so long to get my videos out. Because she comes first. Now, let me go ahead and hand her back to her mommy. And we will go ahead and get into the video. Oh, yes, I know. There you are. Alright, so just want to let you guys know. We just had a baby, like I said, 2 months ago today, and I've been doing the best I can, but of course family comes first. So I finally got a little bit of time today because she is definitely behaving a little bit better than she has the last 2 months, and I'm going to do some videos for you guys. So the first one I'm going to do, like I said, is bug out bag medical kits. Now this is a subject that a lot of people talk about, a lot of people discuss, but I've never been too impressed by them, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to show you guys my kit and what I use. Now, this particular kit is also designed so that I can take it hiking. This kit comes with me everywhere I go. It has literally everything I need in it. Now, it is not exactly super ultralight. It weighs about 6 ounces, but it is a good, complete medical kit. So I'll go ahead and show you guys all that here in just a second, as soon as I can find proper lighting. And I'll go over that with you guys. But first I want to talk about a little bit about why I don't like pre-made medical kits. And I see a lot of hikers, a lot of preppers tending to buy these pre-made kits. What I don't like about them is what they tend to use is cheap. They don't have a good selection of stuff in them. They use the cheapest possible things they can. And the selection they use isn't exactly all that great. So I decided, you know what, I'm not doing that. I'm not spending, 20 bucks on a semi-decent pre-made kit. Instead, I'm going to spend a little bit more and I'm going to make my own. So that's what I did, and I'm quite happy with it. It's actually, I've used it quite a few times and it does work out very well. So let me go ahead and take you guys to the tabletop. I'll empty this thing out and kind of discuss with you guys what's in it and why I chose it. I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back at the tabletop. Now, this right here, like I said, this is my kit. This is what I bring with me. It weighs about 6 ounces. So let's go ahead and get into what I have in here. Now, as always, anything that is dangerous that could spill needs to be in a bag. So right here, I actually have my antiseptic kit. It contains potassium permanganate. I will go through a video on how to use this I'll do a video on how to use this later. But this is my primary antiseptic. This is what I use if a wound gets infected or something like that. And I'll discuss why in a later video. Alright, right here, like I said, this is a bug out bag medical kit. So I do have a medication. I use Nutribiotic GSE for illnesses and infections, things of that nature inside of myself, internally. I did a video on this, so I will go ahead and post a link to that if you want to watch that review. Great stuff. It is what I use as my antibiotic, and again, it is a bug out bag kit, so that's in there not because I use it while hiking, but for bug out purposes. Some hand sanitizer, always a good thing to bring with you. Alright, right here I have some iodine, always an important thing. I use this when I have a more serious wound that needs to be disinfected immediately, because potassium permanganate is a time-based disinfectant, and I'll talk about that later. But so I do have some iodine that I carry with me in my bag. Of course, I have Nu Skin liquid bandage, which is a really nice concentrated liquid bandage. It is waterproof. I love this stuff. I have done a review on this, so I'll go ahead and post a link to this one as well. Of course, I have just a basic compression bandage, a pair of medical scissors. I have this, which is basically I think it's a Styptic Pencil, however you pronounce it. This is used primarily by people who are shaving, but I keep it just in case I need to stop bleeding. It does work quite well for that purpose. It burns like hell though, but it does work. And if you have more severe bleeding, I have taken and crushed up a little bit of this. Not this one, this is a new one. But I have taken and kind of shaved off some of it and powdered it and then put it on a wound. It does work, although it is really painful. And then of course, I just have some cotton swabs. Nothing fancy there. Then on the other side, I have my gauzes and bandages. Now, because like I said, this is a bug out bag kit, I do have an old-fashioned thermometer. Not battery operated, just an alcohol thermometer. And I have various types of gauze and bandages, alcohol prep swabs, things of that nature. Now, I do use this right here. This is NexCare waterproof bandages. I'll do a review on these. I absolutely love these. These are the bandages that I keep in all of my bug out bags and medical kits. It is absolutely fantastic. So like I said, I'm gonna do a review on these for you guys a little bit later, but these things are worth every penny. So let me go ahead and kind of tell you guys why I chose this particular layout for my medical kit, and kind of go over a little bit what each item is and why I brought it. Now, of course, we'll start out with the thermometer. Of course, you should always have a thermometer. Really helpful for determining infections. Now, believe it or not, it's not just for determining, hey, you got a cold or a flu or something. It's actually really useful for detecting systemic infections. If somebody has a fever over 100.4 and they aren't actually physically sick, it shows a systemic blood infection. So it is important to have something that can read temperatures accurately, and this is a nice, accurate alcohol thermometer. So I make sure to have this. Of course, I got one that came with a nice sturdy case because this is glass and you don't want it to break in your bag. But it is worth every penny to buy one of these because it can really help in diagnosing an illness. Of course, medical scissors, always a must-have in pretty much every medical kit. I do have this. Now, it isn't an Israeli bandage or anything fancy like that. It's just a standard compression bandage. But these are really useful because you can wrap them around gauze to help put pressure on wounds. You can also use them to shore up like a sprain. So these are always a good thing to bring with you. Even if you never use one, it is definitely worth bringing something like this. It's small, it's compact, it's very light, and it has a ton of uses. Now, one thing I am missing in this kit is a tourniquet, and the reason I am missing that is because I actually either use paracord or I use a schmog for tourniquet purposes, so I don't actually have one in this kit. But if you don't know how to use paracord or schmog to make your own tourniquet, you should definitely purchase one and include it in your kit. Now, of course, liquid bandage, as my other review will show, is an awesome concentrated bandage. It does have an antiseptic in here too, so for minor wounds, I tend to just use this, wash off the wound, and then apply some of this, and I haven't gotten an infection in any wound that I've applied this to. What I like about it is just how concentrated it is. This is a 1 ounce bottle. For me, I've gotten well over 200 uses out of each one of these 1 ounce bottles that I've purchased. These are also in every one of my medical kits. They are absolutely phenomenal. They do burn when you apply them, but it's waterproof and it will stay on until the wound has healed and the scab has fallen off. Then the scab fell off. So essentially an awesome little item. It is a little bit expensive. It's going to run you about $8, $8 to $10 for this bottle, but it is worth purchasing and putting away. This bottle here is about 3 years old and it is not drying up in the bottle. I don't know how you guys are going to be able to see it, but it is still perfectly usable. So it is an awesome purchase. I absolutely love that stuff. Of course, iodine. Now, iodine is something I carry with me in all of my medical kits. I carry one of these little 2 ounce bottles. This one actually has a drip cap on it, so instead of having to waste a ton of it pouring it out onto a rag, I can use the little drip tip to just get what I want. So I don't have as much waste. But Iodine is an important antiseptic. You should have it in your medical kit. Its primary purpose for me is more serious wounds that need to be treated immediately, and I don't have time to use the potassium permanganate on it. So this isn't something I use a lot of, but I have used it. It does burn. Anyone who knows iodine knows it burns. And this particular one is 2% available, which is twice the strength of what you find in your standard red iodines. This is a clear iodine with 2% available iodine. Normal red iodine has 0.1 or 1% available. So this burns a lot more than your standard red, but it also will absolutely disinfect a wound very quickly. So important item to have with you. And that's also why it comes with a drip tip, because you don't need as much. And awesome item to have with you. I actually purchased this at Walmart. It cost me about $5, but it's definitely worth purchasing. So there's the iodine. Of course, the GSE. Like I said, I've already done a review on this. I use this as my antibiotic medication. It works really well for me and my family. Whenever we get sick, I actually have a bottle that is open that I keep in the house. And anytime we get sick, I start using it. In a couple of days, it'll knock out whatever it happens to be. I actually used this when I had swine flu during the big swine flu epidemic, and I barely even knew I was sick. So I absolutely love this stuff. I use it for sinus infections, bronchitis. I've used it for pretty much everything, and it works really, really well. Of course, the Styptic Pencil. This is good for stopping minor wounds. I carry this mainly. I don't have a problem with bleeding, but my parents do. So because if we bug out, we're going to bug out together. I make sure I have this to stop minor bleeding that they may have. I don't actually have it in this kit, but I do also carry Celox, and I'll put a link to that for Amazon for you guys. That is a more heavy-duty blood stopper, and can actually stop bleeding for arterial bleeding. So I do have this, and I do have the Celox, but I don't have it in this particular kit right now. So I'll have to make sure I move it in there. I thought it was in there. But so this is good for minor bleeding, and then of course the Celox for more major bleeding. Although keep in mind, for those of you guys who are bugging out, Celox is great for hikers because it'll stop the bleeding long enough to get you into a hospital to have them repair whatever artery or vein got damaged. But if you are bugging out and there is no medical attention anywhere around, Celox will not function well for arterial bleeding because it will not heal the artery. So you will still need to have surgery to close the artery. All Celox will do is stop the bleeding. So I don't carry the big bags of Celox. I carry the small 2-gram bags because I can use that to stop more reasonable bleeding, but if somebody is squirting blood out of an artery, there's nothing I can do to save them at that point, and I have accepted that. So I make sure to carry something more reasonable for things that I would be using it for. But when it comes to bleeding in a bug out situation, just keep that in mind. If they are squirting blood, there's nothing you're going to be able to do unless you are a surgeon to actually fix it. Because you don't even have access to the medical supplies necessary to fix it as a civilian. So just keep that in mind. I know it's sad, but it is a fact of bugging out that wounds like that become deadly. I of course have some cotton swabs, which are, you know, a must-have for pretty much any medical kit. There are so many uses for these. I'm not even going to try to go into all of them, but these have a ton of uses. So I do make sure I carry these. This is just a little travel pack I picked up at Rite Aid for like 99 cents. Nice little hard package. So I always carry some cotton swabs in my medical kits. It's a standard for me. And then of course the NexCare bandages. Now I am going to be doing a video on these specifically to show you guys how to apply them because they aren't like normal bandages, but they are awesome. They are waterproof, and make sure you guys watch that video to hear everything I have to say about them. But definitely carry these. They are a lot better than your standard little cloth bandages. And this right here, the final thing in my kit, other than just standard gauze and stuff, is the potassium permanganate. Now, I use this, and I make sure I carry this with me because it will actually treat infected wounds. I have used it myself. I have iguanas and they scratch me all the time, and those wounds always get infected. I don't know why, they just do. I'm guessing it has something to do with bacteria in their claws, but they will always get infected no matter how well I try to sterilize the wound. So I have used potassium permanganate quite a lot at home for cleaning those wounds, and I will show you guys how to do that in the next video. But for right now, this just gives you an example of a highly concentrated, effective antiseptic. Great for minor wounds that don't really require immediate attention, and for wounds that have in fact gotten infected, to help treat those and pull the infection out and make sure that you can get them cleaned up and they can heal properly. Like I said, I will show you how to use this in the next video, and as an antiseptic, because unfortunately there really isn't a lot of information about that. They just show you, oh, it's pink, so you can use it as an antiseptic, but they don't tell you how. So I will tell you how in the next video. But there you have it. That is my medical kit, and like I said, down here I just have, you know, gauze of different sizes and some alcohol prep pads and stuff like that. Just your basic stuff, some extra bandages, nothing overly fancy, no reason to go in all that stuff. But this right here is the primary stuff in my medical kit that I recommend that you guys carry as well. And make sure you find this. This is a really, really useful tool. But there you go. There you have it. That is my medical kit, what I carry with me when I'm hiking or bugging out. It's light, it's compact, it's effective. So thank you guys for watching, and remember to watch the next video to see how you use potassium permanganate to sterilize wounds properly. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.